This week on the Austin Healey channel, I play with the windshield and get a bunch of little stuff off my checklist. Have you ever seen a really bad movie where the character should go from point A to point B in a straight line and just get it done? But instead, they go all over the place and jump back and forth in time, and in the end it's very confusing and you don't know what's going on? Well, that's kind of the place I am this week, telling the story of this windshield. It's been a difficult process to get to this point, but you should know it's not done. I still have some problems I need to work out. So let me tell you how we got here, without jumping around. So at the end of last week, I had all the brackets done and I was able to put the windshield frame together.
So I have the windshield frame in place. It's not just really clean glass, it's just the frame.
This allowed me to put the posts in and start to play with the positioning of the windshield. But for some reason it just wasn't lining up.
I'm going crazy a little bit trying to figure this out. When the windshield is in its down position, it's resting on the shroud, which isn't good. And this side's in and that side's out by like half an inch. Like, it's not wide enough.
So I thought, well, maybe it's out of square and I put the glass in, it'll square it all up, it'll stiffen it up and it'll work better. So I go to put the glass in and this bottom frame is just the wrong shape.
So this is the windshield, new glass. This is the frame that I had, the bottom of the frame that I had re-chromed. Put it up to the center here. You can see on the outsides that it doesn't match the curve. This is on both sides. So, here, set up on the sides. You see how far it's off. I'm thinking maybe this is the wrong piece. That maybe this piece is off something else. It kind of works, but it doesn't seem right.
I ended up figuring out that it just needed to be bent into the right shape to fit the bottom of the windshield, which was a very time-consuming and delicate process. It's just made of brass that's chrome-plated, so it was possible to do. Ideally, it would have been better to have it done before it was chromed, but we won't go there. But in the end, the glass was able to slip in where it should be, and it's held together. So then I was able to put it on the card to test my theory if it squared things up. And no, it didn't. It didn't help at all. So right now I'm able to put the windshield in its upright position, but when I put it in the down position, where this side the foot meets this side, it's off like 1/4 of an inch.
This pin is still not in the right place. I can get it ever so close. It's like half its width off, which is like 1/8 of an inch, but it's just in the wrong place.
So I had enough. I decided I need to stop. I'll come back to it later when I'm feeling better about it.
When you're frustrated with something, great advice my dad told me is walk away from it. Get away from it, because you're not going to do any good, fighting it.
This isn't something you can play with when you're frustrated. Also, getting away from it gives your brain time to think of other options. What else can you do? Because right now, I'm thinking about moving the pin from the bottom of this post over 1/4 of an inch. And that is difficult, and it's going to be a painful process. But for now, I moved on to other projects, lots of little things that just need done, but they help me feel like I've accomplished something. So let me show you what else I've done this week. Had a parts order come in, and it had this flexible line in it. Yay! So now I can connect up the oil pressure gauge, which runs on a copper tube from here into the cockpit to the gauge. So let's go over to the bench where I have the old one. Here we have the original. It has a couple clips on it, and it has these ends, and a grommet. Pretty simple. The reason I'm replacing it is, I don't know if you can see this very well, but right through here, someone's pinched it shut. I don't know why. Maybe the oil gauge was leaking or something. So we're gonna make a new one. Let's spin some new copper and try and get it in the right shape. Now that's a pretty tight bend, so I think we're going to get the tubing bender. Bag of grommets. There's gotta be one in here somewhere. So we have some options. Let's get this end taken out. So I have a tool recommendation for you. It's a tool you can use when you get into one of those situations where you're tired, things aren't fitting together, you're frustrated with your project, and you just want to walk away from it. What is it, you ask? It's a whole nother Austin Healey. When you're feeling down and unmotivated, just hop in your Austin Healey and go for a drive. On one of those beautiful fall days where the air is crisp and the leaves are turning orange and the roads are twisty and you got someone special in the passenger seat, it really changes your motivation. It reminds you why you're working on the car to begin with. Yeah, I know, it's a bit of an expensive tool to have, but boy is it handy. So these dusty old dirty things are the original side curtains. Or I originally thought about rebuilding them myself. There's a couple things I couldn't get around. I hadn't found a source for this vinyl here, and
I'm missing one of these. It goes across here. And this one's pretty beat up, but the frames are good. I also didn't really have enough of a pattern to faithfully reproduce it. So what I did was this. So these are the ones I've ordered from Baustock. They were expensive. They were really, really expensive. They're well done. It looks a lot like I envisioned the other ones being, if they were finished. And, it has this, and it's nice and shiny and chrome, and I didn't have to like find a source for it or try to replace it with something else. Right now they're just kind of stuck in place. They're not like mounted properly. I'm missing the little buttons that it goes into down here, so it's just kind of sitting on there gently. But you can, start to see what it's going to look like. I would say that by buying these, it's probably saved me 2 weeks' work. What I might do though is make some patterns off of them. So I'll have that in the future if I ever need more. I also got a bag to go with it. A long time ago when I was working on the Trafficator, I had thought that I had bought the right switch, the lever part that's black instead of chrome. The black one is on the BN1s. Later on they switched to a chrome one. Anyway, I could remember seeing it in my hand, but I couldn't find it anywhere. Well, I still haven't found it, but I bought a new one. But that means I get to take the Trafficator apart again to put this on. So let's do that now. Put the mirror in place right here, and there's a little dot below it on the dashboard, and in the back between where the bolts go through to hold the mirror and that little hole in the dashboard goes a bracket. Because I didn't have the original dashboard with it, the bracket was completely missing. This seems to be something that's impossible to buy, but it turns out it's pretty easy to build. I just drew the holes where the mirror bolt holes go, and then elongated them. So then this will clip up under those, and then it gives you an adjustment back and forth to where the dash is. Now once I get this in place, I'll drill a hole through the dashboard, through where that hole in the dashboard is, through this, and bolt it together, and voila, there you're done. So it was surprisingly easy to make, surprisingly difficult to find one. So I think this is about the right shape for it. But it's in back, it's behind the dashboard, no one will ever see it. If you want to come along on the ride as we complete this project, click the subscribe button. If you want YouTube to tell you every time there's a new video, click the alarm bell. Thanks for watching, and your support is very much appreciated.